and greetings. In this tutorial, we're going to talk about the fifth force superconscious. That's going to be the green area that we see in the four outer time dimension and mental spheres. We're going to talk about that in particular because it's going to be dealing with psi, psychosensory information circuits. Okay? And also, we want to get an understanding of what it is that we're doing within the fifth force. In this area, we are having feelings, energies, emotion. We have attitudes that come about, dispositions, and all of that stuff. However we take that information, it's going to be held together by the five forces of nature, which is weak, the strong, the biopsychic, gravitational, and electromagnetic. We can recall that each of the four outer mental spheres and dimensions have the exact same functions, where our sense perceptions are radialized. So when we're talking about the fifth force, we're talking about, of course, the green color-coded area for this externalized event. Okay? Something is occurring, but it depends on what magnitude that it is occurring on. One of the matrices, space, time, or synchronicity. But when it does, what it's asking us to do is to apply the essence to our radio sense core. What is our radio sense core? Touch, taste, smell, sound, vision. These nodes here. Sometimes something may fall on them and sometimes not. But if it doesn't fall on the nodes, it doesn't mean that the nodes aren't coming into play, because we know that our senses are always in play. Therefore, we're going to have to know the powers, the actions, and the essences of the 13 tones of creation. And as we can see here with my highlighter, it goes from 1 to 13, just as if it's a wave spell. What I want to show you is that each of these tones we have to know, especially the essences. You see me blotting them out, just letting you know how important that is. But there is an exception. Only with the lunar tones, no matter if it's activating or supplementing, the signal to be transferred will be the action and not the essence. I'm repeating it again so you don't forget. That is the only magnitude or number that is going to be transferred by its action and not its essence, because the essence of the lunar tone is challenge, and we're not going to transfer challenge to our senses. That doesn't really make sense. But we do want to stabilize our senses in whatever it is that particular matrices is on. If it's time, we want to stabilize space. We want to stabilize something in it. If it's synchronicity, it's going to be synchronized in stability. Let's talk about the transfer of signals just a little more. The transfer of the essence to the radio sense core, it means that a mental process is occurring. This is why we are talking about psi, our psychosensory information, because that's going to come into play. We're either transmitting or we're receiving something from psi, okay? No matter what magnitude that any matrices falls on, even if it falls on a node, touch, taste, smell, sound, or vision, we still have to consider whether we are transmitting or whether we are receiving. We're gonna know that from the activation or the sublimation of those particular magnitudes. Psi, once again, just for imprinting, psi is the psychic energy that's released from the interaction of our consciousness with the mental sensory information. We have the number 3 there, activating. So we know that the tone 3 is activate, service, and bond. Bond what? Bond our time, which is in our mind. We're going to bond our space, whatever it is that we asking for. Let's try another one. Number 7, that is neither activating or sublimating, but we're still going to look at what the magnitude 7 represents. It's tone 7, channel, inspire, but we want to focus on atonement. That's very important. I used to wonder, what am I supposed to be doing when it's neither sublimating nor activating? I know it's a portal, but what does that mean? It means that we are to attune. You know, when you go into a portal, that actually teaches. You know, you're being instructed. You can't be instructed. You can't receive instruction unless you're attuned to whatever it is in your time. Attuned to whatever it is in your space. Attuned to whatever is you're waiting to unfold in synchronization. Number 11, this time is sublimating. That's an interaction. Okay? And so this is the tone, spectral tone, dissolve, release, and liberate. We're liberating something. Okay? We're liberating something in our senses. Dealing with time. We're liberating something that we are asking for. And we are applying our senses to it to liberate it. This can go deep. You can use this information as you see fit for your own enhancement and knowledge. One more. Let's try sublimating 13. The 13th tone, we know that's the cosmic tone of endure, transcend, and presence. So we want presence, but it's going to be an inner action presence. Okay? Sometimes how can you apply presence to your senses? Because we're transferring it. Remember, we're transferring these signals from the 5D to our radio, 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension, 6th dimension, however high we can go. Now, I know a lot of us are still stuck in the 3rd dimensional reality, and some of us are doing our best to go higher into the higher realms using our senses. It takes work, okay? It's not going to just come on a fly, because we're touching parts of our brain that have not been used before. And it's going to take remembrance, it's going to take exertion, patience, compassion, you know, all of that. This is what I'm trying to get to. And don't forget that about the lunar tone. We know that that's not going to be with the essence. It's going to be with the action. And it's all going to center on our senses right here. So, to recap. Number 1, know the essence of the magnitude that it's falling on. Number 2, activate or sublimate into consideration before transferring signals to the senses. We got to know how we're going to use this essence, how we're going to apply it, which way and what sense should we go with, depending on what it is that we're asking for to be materialized. Number 3, fully become conscious of how to implement the senses, which I just went through. So that's going to do it for this tutorial. Stay tuned. There's more coming. The gods are good to me. You all are gracious to come and visit. Please spread the word. And we all say in unison, peace to the gods.